This is Arun Upneja, Dean of the BU School of Hospitality Administration and the host of the Distinguished podcast. I'm excited to welcome George Paul, an entrepreneur who's never been afraid to speak his mind, winner of the Alum of the Year award from our school, and a key member of our advisory board. George has spent decades building some of Long Island's most celebrated restaurants. Alongside his brother, he has crafted iconic dining experiences, going from Bryant and Cooper Steakhouse to Toku modern Asian cuisine, blending culinary creativity with a sharp business acumen. Recently, George took his expertise to Miami, where the journey to open Toku wasn't exactly smooth sailing, facing regulatory delays and all the challenges that come with launching in a new city. George doesn't sugarcoat his opinions. Whether it's about the highs and lows of running a restaurant empire or the roadblocks put in place by local authorities, you can expect an honest, no-nonsense conversation today. We'll dive into what it really takes to thrive in the restaurant industry, the hurdles he has faced, expanding into new markets, and how he has managed to stay at the top in a business known for its high failure rate. So get ready for some candid insights, high-octane conversation, and maybe a few stories you weren't expecting. Welcome, George, the Distinguished Podcast.
Thank you very much, Dean.
It's amazing to have you here. We've been talking about this for quite some time. So I'm so happy that you're finally here.
Yeah, but you set that bar pretty high for me. I don't know if I have as much insight and as much information as you want. A bunch of stories, I'm sure, but we'll see where you take me. I'm going to go on your journey, and I'll let you lead the way.
I think people are going to love your story. Okay. But let's start with the first thing is you have so many restaurants, and most entrepreneurs struggle with maintaining quality while scaling up, creating new concepts. So how do you do that? How do you keep the quality in every single restaurant that you own so high?
So my father always taught us quality. In a lot of my restaurants or our restaurants, when you have quality, you don't have to do much to it. There's no hiding what it is. It's the best. So I remember one of my first classes here at BU, I had a professor, Joe Curley, and he says, do you have to have good quality to be successful? And right away, I raised my hand. I have the answer to that one. And he says, yes. He didn't know my name at the time. I guess it was like the first day. And Professor Curley, yes, you have to have good quality to be successful. That's what I was raised on. And he says, no, you don't. And I was like, he's blowing my mind. And he says, for those that remember, I don't even know if you know, there was a chain called Howard Johnson's.
Yes.
And they were all over the highways across America. And they were known for their fried clams. Now in New England, fried clams includes the belly, but these were just strips of fried clams. And they were lousy. But he said they were consistently lousy. Consistency. And you're talking about this is 40-something years. And he said it was going to be on the test at the end of the year, and it's still in my head now. Consistently fulfill the expectations you've created. So if your expectations or a greasy spoon or is a lousy it has to be consistently that way. Because if a customer comes in one day and it's great and one day it's not, you're going to fail. So I still believe in consistently having good quality, but it was a great learning experience that I got here at Boston University.
I can attest to it. I've eaten at many of your restaurants, consistently high quality.
Thank you.
But I'm also, again, another question, which is very confusing. When restaurateurs create one concept and they're very successful, they want to just take it the easy way, replicate the hell out of those restaurant concepts and just keep making more and more of those.
Oh, I wish I did.
But you don't do that.
No. Don't say I don't do it. I didn't do it.
You did, yeah.
I didn't do it. But sometimes, especially if you want to have investors or people want to give you money, they want to see that you've been successful in many different markets. My brother and I, we had a restaurant and we had Bryant and Cooper Steakhouse. And there's one of the top grossing shopping centers in the country called the Americana. And it's one light away. It's one traffic light away. Big, very high-end shopping center. And the owner of that center had space. He was redoing it and putting in Gucci and Prada and all these heavy-duty stores. But there was no food service, and he wanted to have a high-end restaurant. And he put in a restaurant from New York, and there's so many things. I can't give you 40 years of knowledge in one sitting, but we met the owner, the chef of this restaurant that he put there, very well-known chef from New York. And he says, these people don't know what they want. Actually, he said, these effing people don't know what they want. And my brother and I shook our heads like, oh, boy, he's in trouble. Because we grew up in this area.
Right.
I knew my area. So it failed, and the owner of the shopping center came to us and, what do you think we should put here? Well, I'm not going to put another steakhouse a block away. So we thought, and we saw a concept somewhere else in the shopping area that did well. It was an Italian idea. So we decided to put an Italian restaurant there. And the restaurant that we took over had a kitchen in the basement. Well, we had ideas of doing hundreds of meals. Well, you can't be just putting in a heating place. So we took a larger part of the kitchen. We made the kitchen larger, which left him a smaller space in the back. So he says, well, what can you do with this? Because I can't sell this. So we put a to-go area there because the center didn't have a place to even get a cup of water. So we opened up an Italian restaurant. People said, well, what do you know about Italian food? Well, in the steakhouse, I serve meat. I serve fish. I serve chicken. I serve pasta. I just have to serve chicken, meat, pasta, just done differently, which is what Gillis and I do. We find the food that we like, and we have a chef make that. And we opened up an Italian restaurant. And it was a big hit. So big a hit that people don't usually go to shopping centers at night. The landlord was so thrilled that we were filling the parking lot at night, it leads people to look in the windows all night long. The stores are closed, but I'm bringing hundreds of people there, and they're looking in the windows, and he loved it. So he had another restaurant in the center, in the same center. And, I wanted you guys to run it. I said, Gil, I said, we have the Bryant and Cooper, and now we have an Italian. We're going the same well over and over. We can't do another restaurant. My brother turns to me and says, well, someone's going to go in there. Might as well be us. I said, oh, boy. So we thought, what are we going to do? What concept are we going to do? Well, at the time, Asian was becoming popular. There was Nobu in the city, which was really it at the time. Now there's numerous well-known Asian restaurants, but we're going to do Asian. People came to us. What do you guys know about Asian? Well, you're going to serve steak, and you're going to serve fish, and you're going to serve chicken, and you're going to serve noodles. Just have to figure out. So we went around and found things that we liked, and we've traveled, and we've traveled the world, my brother and I, and traveled all over, and we go out eating and trying the things that we like. You know, our restaurants aren't chef-driven. If a chef leaves, people get, oh my God, you lost your chef. My brother and I, we say that we're chefs of taste. I know if it's right or wrong. I know what it's supposed to taste like. It's your job. I hire the chef. It's your job to make it the way I want it. I don't know how to do it, but you better know how to do it. So we opened up a Asian restaurant, Toku, and thank God it's a big success. But we had to. So now we're becoming multi-concept guys. And we had to work at it, but it's a lot easier just to repeat your same concepts. You're taking a chance going to different areas. These are all at least my own customers from people that know us. You want me to keep going?
Oh, sure.
Oh, my God. All right. So about 2 miles east is another shopping center that this landlord owns. And it was more of an 80s. It was built like in the late 70s, early 80s, and he wanted to redo that center because the center that we're in, that I was telling you, the Americana, It was built in the 50s. When I was a kid, there was a bowling alley and an ice cream store and a Tom McCann's, and it was just a regular shopping center. He's the one who elevated. He had a supermarket there. Everything out: Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton. It's the Madison Avenue of Long Island, and it's actually in Billy Joel's song, "The Miracle Mile." It's a famous area. Well, 2 miles east, there's this little shopping center, has a deli in it and another supermarket, and he was going to start changing that. So he comes to my brother Gillis and I want you to put a restaurant here. Oh, it's in nowhere's land. It's not in an area that we know that's further east, and it's not in Manhasset where we have our 3 restaurants. No. I want you guys there to start redoing it. I'll build you a basement, and we're gonna. Oh my God! What are we gonna put there? We're not gonna do another Asian. We're not gonna do. So we decided. We saw a restaurant in New York called Pastis. It's more of a bistro and light fare, but it's all night long kind of a thing. And we designed a beautiful. All our restaurants are designed unbelievably to their concept. Our steakhouse was designed by a classic steakhouse designer that we knew that did New York. The Asian is spectacularly good. We won awards for architecture. The Italian restaurant is gorgeous. Actually designed by the man that does most of our restaurants, Peter Nimitz, right here in Boston. So we go and we design a French bistro, French top, bar top, custom made in France, brought it over, tile floors, the whole thing. Well, it didn't do too well. People didn't take to the fare, and it was taking time to get the food out of the kitchen, so we had to work. We had to work on the kinks and this and that, and the chef left, but we stayed with it, and we figured out, we Americanized it a little bit, and thank God that one's doing well. Okay, so we're doing pretty well. Plus, we already had a casual steakhouse from the 90s in East Meadow. Then, because you want to know about why we have so many different concepts. So now we're trying to redo this French bistro and try to tweak it. And a catering hall between the French bistro and Bryant and Cooper in a town called Roslyn became available. 500-seat catering hall, different rooms though, not one big hall. It was a 200-seat and 250 and 50 here. Big parking lot. There's no parking in that town. This had big parking. My brother said, come on, and we can own the property. So what are we going to do here, Gil? It's an old... It was called George Washington Manor, and it looked like, and George Washington was actually there. There's a part of the building talk about dealing with towns and bureaucracy. Oh my God! So we'll talk about Hendrick's for 5 minutes. So we buy this catering hall, George Washington Manor. And part of the building's from 1740.
Oh wow!
George Washington actually had breakfast there for real. I don't know if he slept there, but I know that he had breakfast there. So it's called, and it was white with these different rooms, and it had a hearth and pictures of presidents on all the walls, and very, very old style. And really, my customer, a fruit cup out of a jar for dessert. I mean, so, and when I grew up, catering halls where you got married. We knew a catering hall that we almost bought that did 4 weddings on a Friday, 4 weddings Saturday morning, 4 weddings Sunday night, 4 weddings a Saturday night, 4 weddings Sunday morning. They were making money in the 60s and the 70s. But even myself, I got married in Greece. Now everyone gets married all over the world. And catering halls, they'll want you to take $5 off there and throw in this and do that. The band's okay. The band they're going to spend money on. But the restaurant, the food, we don't need that. We'll cut down. So my brother says, we're going to make it a restaurant. It was also a chess move because other restaurants were seeing, okay, these Poles are making money out there. People coming from New York, maybe another steakhouse is going to come, or maybe someone else is going to come to our area. So it's like to stop. That's the only other place a really good steakhouse can go. But it's down the street from Bryant and Cooper.
Okay.
So my brother tells me let's open. We buy the property. We run this. We turn it into a restaurant, and now we want to renovate it. We have to renovate it, and it's in a historical town.
George Washington ate breakfast.
He
there.
ate breakfast there, but it was a Mexican restaurant 30 years before that. In the 70s, it was a Mexican restaurant, but people don't know that. It's George Washington Manor. It was catering. So we had Peter Nimitz design it. We always brought New York out here. You know, when I grew up, when you want to go out, you went to New York City. We're about 30 minutes out from New York City. And like our landlord from the Americana, he brought New York and style out here. That's what my brother and I have done. We brought New York out to Long Island. You know, the reason why we did the steakhouse, and I think I'm jumping back and forth now, was because my brother used to live in the city, my brother Gillis. And he saw during highs and lows and recessions, the only restaurants that were always busy were steakhouses, because you went to steakhouses to celebrate. You went to steakhouses to have a good time. You went to steakhouses to have a good drink. So that's why we built Bryant and Cooper. So the Hendricks, we had our designer bring there's restaurants downtown in the city that are dark and warm, and they had a fireplace and not down and dirty, but just places that seem they've been there a long time. Now, even though it's George Washington Manor and it's George Washington and the building's been there a long time, it didn't look that way. It looked...
So you have to modernize it, and then you have to make it look old.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Because modernize it. So now we have to go get a design and get a... But meanwhile, I'm still not making it at the French Bistro, Bar Frites. We're tweaking that as we're doing this new project and buying the property and borrowing money. And now we have to go to these guys to build it. Well... You start opening up wall. I mean, we opened up one wall where there was an office. We were going to put bathrooms, and the foundation wasn't there anymore. It wasn't. There was nothing holding up the wall but the other two walls. So you had to pour a foundation, and another wall they opened up, and these old wood beams are twisted. You had to get steel to hold up the roof. I mean, on and on. We took out, or someone took. Around one of the fireplaces upstairs, the upstairs there's a fireplace, and they took out the mantle because they were going to do some work. Well, when they took off the mantle, it was so old it disintegrated. The town wants to know where the mantle is. Well, what do you mean you want it disintegrated? We want it in case someone else bought it from us and wants to put it back. We had to keep it, but there was nothing to keep. I mean. Because everything we were doing, the color of the paint had to go to the town. It has to be a historical color. Okay, my designer dealt with that. He has to deal with that in Boston, so he knew his way around that. There is a door that faces the town, that if there was a fire and I have to run through that door in an emergency, I'd be decapitated. So we go to the town. We're going to raise the door. Oh, no, you're not. No, you don't understand. It has to be handicapped and it has to be raised for a fire. Oh, no. Historical trumps ADA and okay. Fire. I mean, I've never heard of these things in my life. So we had to go through all these things. The windows have to be, we had to put it back the way it looked, because they had a picture from the 1800s or 1900 of what the building that's original. The building that was original now has parts that made it a restaurant. There's a long catering room. There's another long room. But the original building that's still there, we had to really not touch too much. The other buildings, because it was all add-ons, we put in a bar and we put in a vent space and upstairs. But
and now this is 500 seats still?
Oh yeah.
5 and no parking.
No, plenty of parking. We have the only parking. Okay. We have parking. We have seats. We have an outside area now. It's beautiful. It's called. I changed the name.
Okay.
I changed the name. Hendrick's Tavern. Hendrick Onderdonk is the man who owned it. He had a printing press there. He had a grist mill there. He supported the Revolutionary War, which is why George Washington came. Well, this woman's walking through town, and I'm outside looking at the sign going up. Shame on you! Shame on you! She shamed me. Shame that you took down the president's name, the president of the United States. I said, it's Mr. Underdunk's house. I'm honoring the village. I'm honoring. Shame on you! Oh my God! So long story short, thank God that restaurant's doing well. We tweaked the bar Frites. That's doing well. So again, but the Hendricks is literally like walking from here to the football stadium to my other steakhouse. So we didn't call it a steakhouse, even though it's primarily steaks and other items and some things from our other restaurants. It was called Hendrick's Tavern. Hendrick Underdunk's, Hendrick's Tavern. And it's very warm. Have you been there?
I've been there, yes.
Yeah.
There's a BU event you hosted there.
Oh, yeah, be in our VIP room downstairs that has its own parking lot. Yeah. So that was great.
I was there. So, George, I cannot even imagine anyone winning any argument against you. So, does he ever win arguments?
I think
he's an older brother, right?
He's an older brother.
Yeah.
I think that's why...
do you let him win and then do what you want anyways?
No. And I don't want to make anyone sound bad, but we have another brother that we were in business with in another restaurant, and he's done very well. He's successful. He owned the Boathouse in Central Park. He now owns Gallagher's in New York. He owns Gallagher's down in Miami. But he was a middle brother. Gillis is the oldest, then my brother Dean, and then myself. And there would be discussions of how to get things done, and some people want to do it their way, and that's the only way. So... we thought it'd be better that we all stick together because we all have our strengths, but we ended up separating. My brother Dean does his own thing, and my brother Gillis and I stayed together when it was just Bryant and Cooper and Majors. And he and my brother Dean has done well, and we've done well. But as far as the who wins and who loses,
between you and Gillis,
I think that's what really makes it a nice team. I think when one of us is really, really like, it's got to be this way. I might not agree, but let's do that. Or if I really feel, but if we go back and forth and he really thinks this is this and I really think this is that, let me just leave it however it is because it's too much to fight over. Listen, so we listen to each other and we kind of do too much of the same thing. I handle, for instance, the wine. I let him handle liquor because I'm not a liquor, so I don't know anything about really liquor. So he handles that. But everything else, from real estate deals to regular deals to a pasta dish to what knife to use, we look at it all together and discuss it together. And
so let's talk about recent expansion to Miami.
Okay.
So Toku, you're opening a second Toku there. You opened a second Toku. You already opened it.
Yep.
In Long Island, you know the people, you know the rules.
Right.
How was it opening it in Miami?
You're very right. Not even being in New York City, having 5 or 6 restaurants within 2 or 3 miles of each other. Yes, I know all the people in the city. I know people in the town. I know, how to get my liquor license. Yes, it is different, but you hire experts. My brother found a space down there that he really spoke to him, and he showed it to me. That's in Aventura, it was a Grand Lux Cafe, and he felt, this is a big Toku, big, huge, big Toku. Our Toku is unbelievably, but the ceilings are like we have a small little Buddha in the back. This one, he saw a big Buddha. We're going to have a big Buddha, and we're going to have a display on the Buddha, and we're going to have a big bar. Because the Grand Luxes are big. So we go into the we make a deal with the mall. It's not inside the mall. It's out. It's on the outside. It has its own entrance, but it's part of the Aventura Mall. Very, very large mall, one of the better malls in the country. It has a lot of people go to that mall, and they've asked us before to be in other sections, but this one spoke to my brother. So okay, we're gonna do it, and the landlord will give us a little bit of money to help put it. But it has a kitchen already. Has a kitchen, so you don't have to put a new kitchen. And it has a bar, but we're going to move some wall. We don't want to spend a lot of money. We want to spend a couple of $1 million, just, facelift, make it look nice. They have refrigerators. They have everything. They have the plumbing. Well, they give us the set of plans for Grand Lux, and they're called as-builts. As-built.
As-built.
Do you know what an as-built is? These are final, the place is built. This is what was okayed by the town, stamped, everything. Everything's to code. Of course, 20 years old. Yeah. But this is as we start doing a little bit of the construction that we want to do, our people and our contractors, the pipes aren't where they say they are on the plans, and certain waste pipes don't go to where they're supposed to, and then there's new laws and regulations. So there's something in Florida called DERM that takes care of where your wastewater goes and your grease traps, and you had to open up the parking lot for that, but that has to do with the town and not the mall. And you need an engineer to come in. Then we have to rip up the floors. The bathrooms we were going to redo anyway, and we had a very, very a designer it was a different designer. We tried someone different we tried another designer. And it was a beautiful design, but I'm like, I want to leave the air conditioning where it is. You're moving walls and openings. And then where the kitchen, the refrigerators really weren't that good, and the line's not how we want to do it. And the way the air comes in and the units, because it's Florida and it has salt in the air, the units have to be changed. It ended up usually sometimes when you go into a shopping center, they give you a vanilla box. Yeah. Well, we had to turn it in. We had to take everything that was in this Grand Lux and gut those. So I had to pay for the gut. Oh. I had to pay for putting things back. Then our design. Then we're trying to what's the expression? Value engineer the design. Now here's the design. It's way over what we want to spend. Way. All right. That's how we're going to do this. And I'm coming up with ideas. Well, it costs as much for that as for the original idea, and you like the original. Days figuring things out. Then we have mirror on the ceiling in the bar, and it has to be screwed in, and the inspector comes, and the screw, he wants to know how is this screw and how it's going to lock, and when the inspector comes, so you can't work until that inspector comes, and that guy, if you're not working and that guy is not working, put it up the ceiling, well, you can't lay the floor until the ceiling's up, and you want to get open by a certain date because your lease says you have to open by a certain date, and now they're holding, oh my God, and then...
So how long did it take you to open it?
I don't remember. Listen.
I think you put it away from your memory, I think.
How long did it take? I'm going to tell you how long it took. Another brilliant thing that my brother always tells me, and I say it back to him. We always say when we look at these projects that we do, like Hendrick's, that kitchen, the kitchen was so old, we had to take all the equipment out and put a new floor and waterproof it and make it brand new air system and vents, everything's new. And then we were going to clean the equipment and put it back. I have to save money. And my brother turns to me and says, "You're going to put that dirty old equipment in our new kitchen?" I said, "Gil, you're killing me here." And he says, "Well, not if." He says, "When we're successful, you're going to close for a week to put new equipment." So we spent the money and bit the bullet and did that. Well, same thing here in Toku. So same thing. We're going through all these issues and all these problems. And my brother always turns to me, or when he's down, I always turn to him. One day there'll be people eating here.
So I guess that's a very important concept of having people come and eat in this beautiful place you've designed and the experience that you're creating. I guess that's very important to you, right?
Well, when we were doing Cipollini, the Italian restaurant, and we're going through again, we know our designer's great. We know Peter's great.
Yeah.
We know the design's right. And we know how to make good food. Even our chefs always say, it has to be Gillis and George good. It has to be good enough that even when I'm full, I want to take another bite. So that's not the hard part. But when the landlord wants us to move the wall, 6 inches, to me that's mind blowing. Like my landlord, he was Mr. Castagna from Americana. He's no longer with us, but a great, great guy. To him, moving a wall is nothing. But restaurant, he asked us, we were about a month out from opening, where's the menu? I want to see the menu. And I looked at him. I don't worry about the menu. I know what to do. I know how to make a menu. I know what people want. I know what I want, and I think that's what people want, and it's worked out. But we have to move this wall 6 inches? You kidding me? To me, it's so. I don't know if that answers your question, but I think when we're always scared, my brother and I, there's no guarantee. But you try to put the most things, when we decide on a deal or we decide on what we're going to do, we always talk about the downside. What's the downside? Well, if it doesn't work, how much money are we going to lose? Or if it doesn't work, is it going to change our lifestyle? Or if it doesn't work, well, it can't not work at all. Some money's going to come in. And these are do we have parking? Can people come? Is it in the right area? I mean, we had a restaurant in, the three of us at one point. There was a majors we had in Florida. And the entrance to the center, we were a freestanding restaurant in a business area where there were buildings, and you can see it from the highway, but when you're coming down the main road, by the time you saw the sign and you saw the restaurant, you were turning onto the highway. There was no sign at the beginning of the business center, and they wouldn't let us have a sign. And these are the things over the years you learn. It was a big detriment. They wanted to come to us, but it was a pain in the ass. Once they were on the highway, to come back. So they would just say, forget it. And there were other issues at that time, and we were learning and growing. But there are things that you learn. And you want as many things on this side of there's no guarantee, but you want as many things on this side of the ledger to say, all right, this is a good chance. We should be okay. And if you do okay and then you do better, hopefully you keep going.
I was going to ask this question, George. You are clearly highly motivated and passionate about food. And I've traveled with you a little bit in every place you want to go try out new things. How do you keep your passion level so high for so many years?
What makes me? I'm just a passionate person. I'm just passionate. I'm passionate. If this water is really good, I'm going to say, Arun, have you had this water? I'm passionate about music. I'm passionate about life. I'm passionate about love. I'm passionate about my children. I could be passionate about art, or I may say, that's the ugliest piece of you-know-what I've ever seen, but that's the way I am. As far as how do I stay passionate in this business, this is what I know. My friend made fun of me. You were saying how we go out and you see I'm always looking. I'm always looking.
Yes.
Always. I'm always working. And my friend, my best friend Peter, you're talking about again in the 70s, 79, we would go to the diner and they brought the water and they put the water down like this with their hands on the top of the glass. Big no-no. You don't put your fingers where people put their mouth. So I go like this to my friend. I said, I can't drink that water. And he made fun of me. He says, you're always picking, you're always looking at what's going on. So one day he comes to my restaurant and he's in the fur business. And a lady was walking by, and as she walked by, he just stuck his hand out and he just felt the fur. She walked by and he says, I knew it was fake. I knew that was a fake. And I said, when it's what you do, it's okay. But when it's what I do. So I'm always looking. I'm always trying to get new ideas. Every time I go away, my phone, I'm taking pictures. I steal menus. My brother says, you can see it online. I said, no, I need what the paper is. Yeah. I have to see the way that sometimes they don't put the prices online. I want to see. I want to feel. I want to smell. I want to taste. And then I want to give it to you. If I love it, I want to give it to you. So maybe that answers it.
It does.
Maybe just a little bit.
It absolutely does. To wrap up, I have some few fun questions for you, George. You have so many restaurant concepts. If you could eat at only one of them for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Oh my God, that's not a fun question. My standard answer, which is my true feeling. I have, with my brother, built these babies. We had babies. These are our children. They are. Down to the grout. What color grout in the ground? I mean, they're all our favorites. And it's going to be a long, obviously, all my answers are very long to your questions. I had a customer one time at Toku ask me, what's your favorite thing? And the person next to him, he likes everything because, he's the owner. I do like everything because I put it on the menu. Chef didn't put it. I put it on the menu. My brother and I, those are our favorite things. That's why they're there.
Okay.
So to answer the question fairly, they're all, like I always tell people, which is your favorite child? You can't pick your favorite child.
That's what I was going to say. I'll make it easy for you. Tell me who's your favorite child.
I don't have a favorite child. But I am going to answer the question in the one way.
Okay.
When I leave the country, and my wife and I, we go traveling or we go somewhere, or we're going to go to Greece or London, wherever we go in the world, when we land and we're on our way home, we have to get we got to have the steak and potato. It's American. We go to Bryant and Cooper and we get steak and potatoes and the salad and mashed potatoes. And so I do miss that a lot when I don't have a nice big aged steak.
I know that since you make the menus for all your restaurants, so everywhere in the world you go, is there a dish that you've not yet replicated that you really enjoyed somewhere and you want to come back and put it in one of your restaurants at some point?
That's a fun question because I see things all over. And it's so funny you asked me that question. I see things, then I forget, and I take pictures of it, and I'll look at pictures from shockingly 7 years. Oh, shoot, I want to do that. Now I have an assistant. I send her the pictures and remind me of that. But the one dish that comes to my mind, I was in south of France. I want to put this in bar Frites, so someone remind me out there on the podcast. I saw mussels. We make great clams reganata in a few of our restaurants. But it was mussels reganata. I just don't know how you would do that. Do you have to cook the mussel first? Because we were on a beach in Saint-Tropez. But that dish sticks in my mind as that's something I'd like to do in one of the restaurants.
That's amazing.
That was a good fun question.
George, it was an absolute hoot to have you on the podcast, and I look forward to having you.
The tip of the iceberg, man.
It is only tip of the iceberg. We're going to do many more. Really enjoyed having you. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for all the support to the school. You're on our advisory board. Your picture graces our walls here. Thank you.
First graduating class.
Yeah. Part of BU football team.
Don't stop me. That could be a whole hour just in that. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Special thanks to the team who produces this podcast, Mara Littman, Andy Halleck, and the entire team at Boston University School of Hospitality Administration. To keep up with distinguished podcasts, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. You can also learn more about our undergraduate and graduate programs at Boston University School of Hospitality Administration by visiting bu.edu/hospitality.